Hey y'all, I'm 1am and I am a Grammy nominated songwriter. And one thing that people always ask is, how do you get started in songwriting? And they have a lot of other questions. So I'm going to give a few tips on songwriting for anyone that's interested in learning or becoming one. So here we go. So So I got started in songwriting through poetry. So initially I wrote a lot of poems and then started to like put melodies to them and things like that. And my mom saw the book and she was like, "Did you write this?" And I said, "Yes." And then she started to encourage me to do it and bought a book for me to write my songs in and things like that. And I started to take it more serious. That was in high school. By the time I graduated, I decided, again, because my mom encouraged me, I decided to take a stab at it and try it. So once I started working, I did what my first tip was going to be to anyone who wants to be a songwriter. You have to invest in your craft. So if you want to be a songwriter, and you're just starting out, like when I was, no one knows you and no one knows what you're capable of doing. So no one, like at this point, I can show up at a studio and do a co-write with someone and not have to come out of pocket to pay because, I've proven what I can do to some people. So there are people that I can work with now and network and based off what I've done. If you're not there yet, like I wasn't a few years ago, what you're gonna have to do is invest your own money to make it happen. So I would work extra hard and get extra hours so I can have money to pay for studio time. So I met someone who produced music because I don't produce, I write, and I had to pay them for their time. I had to pay for the tracks and I had to pay to record the songs. But I did all of this to build my catalog and to get better. So this is what you're gonna have to do you know, to sharpen your skills because the first song you write is most likely not going to be the best song you write. So you have to continue to get better and better. So after you've done step one, which is invest in yourself, you also have to network. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize about songwriting. And I know how it is when it comes to your intellectual property and you want to hold it really near and close. And that's fine, you can be safe, but you have to work with people. Like you will not make a career in music happen by yourself. So connect with producers, other songwriters, and just people in that creative space. And because someone might not know you, but they might know the other songwriter, and you collaborate, and your name kind of gets out there. So networking is really, really important. And for someone like me, who is a bit of an introvert, it's it's a little bit difficult to do, but you have to shake that off because it's a big part of the industry. When it comes to the actual song and actual songwriting, these are a few pointers that you can use or not, but I mean, they work for me. Um, One thing is when you're writing your songs, try to say as much as you can with as little words as you can. I find a lot of people when they're starting out, and I did this too because I listened to some of my older stuff that before I got my publishing deal, before I got my first placement, I had a bunch of songs in my catalog already that no one has ever heard and probably don't even want to hear because that's when I was becoming the writer that I am now. Um, and I realized I was saying so much. I was trying to say everything in the song. So you have to really make it concise. It still needs to have a story. The song needs a story because people are going to remember the story and what the song's about and how it sounds. But so give it a story, absolutely, but don't make it too wordy. you know? Yeah. Um, and another thing is, write, like, don't go in thinking about what people want to hear. Because a lot of times people go into the studio and they're like, you want to write a hit. I think people like this, I think people like that. And you can do that, and it might hit or miss, but write what you want to say. Because a lot of times what happens is if you go based on what's happening and what's popular right now or what you think people are going to like, you're going to try and mimic that. And people aren't really looking for, I mean, some people are, but who's looking for more of the same? What you want to say is unique to you and it might be great for what someone's looking for. So think about what you want to say, not what you think people want to hear. Next is be in touch with your feelings. I think everyone who's a writer has to do that because it just makes sense. You have to understand what you feel so that you can turn it into a song that makes people relate to it and realize that's what they feel too. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me, and it helps me a whole lot with my songwriting. So if I was you, I'd do the same thing. Yeah, be in touch with your feelings so you can not be afraid of those emotions. You can write about them and package that into art that someone else can enjoy and relate to. Right? Makes sense, yeah. So again, wrap all of that up that I just said and continue to write songs. That's the most important thing. You have to continue to do it because the more you do it, the better you become at it and the better your songs become. I cringe when I listen to the songs that I wrote years and years ago compared to now. So you have to do the same thing. Continue to write, don't feel like, oh, I have 10 songs so far and no one's heard it. I mean, by the time as anyone gave me the time of day to get a song, I'm sure I probably had more than 50 songs. So you have to continuously write to get better so that when the opportunity presents itself and it's time for you to play a song for someone, you can have songs to pick and choose from and you can have something great, something strong for them to hear. Because the thing about the industry too is if someone listens to you once, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, and if hear me, you write a song, this is your second or third song, you could be stronger. Focus on becoming stronger because when you send that email or you ask someone to listen, even if it's another writer or a producer, can you listen to this song? I did this song, and they hear it and it's not great, the chances of them answering your call again to even entertain you or work with you is very, very slim. And you could lose out on a lot of opportunities by presenting something to them that they think is weak and they feel like you're gonna come back with more of the same, even though you might have gotten better over, the past 6 months. They're like, oh, this is that guy or that girl that sent me that song and that song was trash. So they're not gonna listen to it again, even though at this point you might be a great writer and it might actually be something good for them to hear. And the last thing, as fucking cliche as it sounds, you have to believe in you. I know that sounds cliche and everyone says it and what the fuck, but that is the truest thing. Only because this is one of those careers where it's gonna take you believing because there are a whole lot of people who are not gonna get it. They're not gonna believe in you, they're not gonna understand it, But if you know that you have this ability and you feel like you can really do this and you're made to do this, then you have to believe it because when the naysayers come, and they fucking will, when they come, it's gonna be so easy for you to shut down. Like, there's some times that it's few, but there are 1 or 2 times where I thought about giving up because of it. So you have to really be strong and believe that you can do this. And then when you do, it feels so rewarding to be walking down the street and you hear your songs coming out of cars, or you go to a store and you hear it. So keep pushing. Hopefully something I said can help someone out there who wants to be a songwriter, and best of luck to you. And after all of that, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you think, let me know if you have any questions, and help support the thing. Yes, I'm a writer, but now I'm trying this, so get the numbers up. But hopefully something I said can help you. Thanks.